beans had all gone this morning, so we put some more beans out, so that may be the reason he hasn't turned up. And it's quite an overcast afternoon. It's just before 5. It's dark about 6:30. So we're up the sea reasonably early, about an hour ago. And we're going to just sit it out and see if he comes along. So finger crossed, because if we even get to see him, it'll be a bonus. He's such a beauty of a book. So we're tucked in a perfect seat. Weather's not that good, but I think it'll be dark probably a bit early. But still exciting times.
Well, as you can see, it's winter time, and at the end of January, beginning of February, I start to concentrate on trophy Muntjac for clients. And a lot of my clients come year in, year out, and one of those is a guy called Rod Entwistle. Now, Rod's been coming to me for 2 or 3 years now, and he really does love his Muntjac.
I'm really pleased with my mate. Rod, who's a Muntjac aficionado.
And a couple of years ago, we had a really special book turn up. It was absolutely huge. A lot of the times when I was out with Rod, we'd see Muntjac books, but it was just never the book, you know, so it was a bit frustrating because our hopes had sort of like suddenly rise, and then we'd clap our eyes on it and it was a good book, but it wasn't King of the Pen. And well, finally we got him, and it was an amazing morning. What was really special as well was Rod travels down from Scotland to pursue a beast that he hasn't got up there, and he's got a real affection for these Muntjac, and whenever he gets any spare time he's down in the woods after them. We ended up giving him a little bit of a nickname. We ended up calling him King of the Pen. And the reason for this was he used to always go to this pheasant pen where there was feeders inside of it during the winter to get a cheeky feed, because none of the fallow deer or roe deer could get into it, but he knew he could. Whenever we saw him, he was generally in or around the pen. You know, unusually this big buck seemed to travel from far. He came through a couple of woods, and the wood that we thought he was in, that we were going to shoot him in, and we saw him regularly, just wasn't where he seemed to hole up. And it was bizarre because we'd see all the bucks in his territory, but it seemed he just came over there to feed, and it took us quite a while to work that out. You know, we can only do so much recon because we've got other deer to concentrate on, and it was just sheer luck that on that morning we just turned left instead of right and went into one of our little woods, and there he was for Rod. The stars aligned, yeah. It was a great morning, despite the most terrible weather and against all the odds. You know, I had it previously with a big roebuck in the autumn with a friend Mickey, where it was just pouring with rain, and then a fog came in and we weren't even going to go out, and that was the same with Rod. You know, shall we even bother, you know, and we did, and we were rewarded because of that.
Well, the weather's turned out a little bit grim, and there's nothing moving this morning, and it's our last morning out, so not very good. I don't want to sit in a high seat, so we're going to have a bit of a stalk, aren't we, mate? So it's half past. Yeah, half past. Yeah, take the fight to him. It's 7:30, and hopefully it's going to clear up, and we might see some movement. But hopefully you've got your flare with you. And we can find them in the bushes, but oh dear, terrible. Not the best weather for Muntjac stalking, especially when you're after a big lad. But come on, Rod, we'll give it the best shot.
absolutely got it, mate. Well done, mate. Oh. Well, let's hope he's the one, Rod. Let's go and have a look first of all. It's definitely a buck, so what a morning we've had. What a morning we've had. Oh,
Eating rice.
mate, whichever book he is.
That's a definite.
I saw his head just to want to see one antler. I'll be drinking a wee drum tonight. Oh wow, look at that. What a book. Finally. Finally. Oh, fantastic. Oh, what a book. Finally. After Rod took the shot and we could see it was on the floor, it was ridiculous because we were both overwhelmed by it. You know, we've been pursuing this book for a couple of years, a lot of outings, a lot of time talking about it and, you know, showing him the sort of trail camera footage and how great it was and everything. We've shot the king of the pen. We've had a bit of an emotional moment, actually, me and Rod, because we've been chasing him
Unbelievable.
for 2 years, eh? Incredible.
Unbelievable.
What a book. What a book.
Oh.
What a story. But it was such a relief because, you know, it'd been labelled Rod's book virtually, so I couldn't go in anywhere with any clients who were after Muntjac books anywhere near this place because it'd be just my luck that he walked out and I could have to tell them they couldn't shoot it. So we both arrived at the place to see where the book was laying, and both of us got almost a bit tearful. It was ridiculous. I've never had that before ever with anything, so it was a particularly special moment, and oh, it's just such a relief that we finally got him. Show the viewers what you've shot. Oh.
Unbelievable, man.
This has got to be one of the biggest books we've shot with ourselves, and I've just had it officially scored at 68.7 CIC points. So, you know, a gold 61, so, you know, that's a fantastic score for a book. And I can only think that, you know, his size is attributed to the amount of sort of like extra food he gets in and around these pheasant pens, and he's lived a very good life. Well, he might just push middle class.
Might. I think it might scrape abroad.
Now, you are the Muntjac aficionado, and you have shot a few with me, but that's got to be up there with one of the best ones, mate. And I'm coming over all emotional as well. Actually, that has got to be the best Muntjac ever shot with Cervus-UK, one of Oxfordshire's finest.